with almost any other team. So it's good stuff. Just weird stuff at the same time. All right, let's end it. Let's end it with this. We are trying to highlight each position group as we are getting closer to spring training a few weeks ago. So me and Tyler are doing the road to Blake Street, so to speak, every 2 weeks right now. And so 2 weeks ago, we talked about starting pitchers. We gave our 5 or 6 deep players, honorable mentions. We could have kept going. So if you need that, go back to it. It's I think it's also clipped just itself on YouTube. So I think I did do that. So if you just want to skip all the other banter, go to YouTube there. But we are going to cover the what is
corner
it?
Infield.
The corner infield, first base, third base, all that stuff, going through all that. So let's start with that. Like we were just kind of talk about it. We're not including anybody that has been in the majors. So it doesn't not include Hunter, doesn't include Tolia, Ryan McMahon, obviously not involved. So keep that in mind as we're talking about the prospect corner infield, first base, third base, prospects, and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, let's give our top 5 in the system going forward. I'm going to start with Sterling Thompson. I been on it again. If you're new here, go back and listen again. It's a big thing. He's got the major league ready bat. He can stick in a lineup. You want him to hit first, he can do that tomorrow. He can hit 9th if you need him to. It's just the big question mark, where does he play? I think he's slotted at third base for most of the 2023 season. I had a crazy week. I wasn't able to do all my research, but I think third base is his home going forward. Second base is next. He could slot him into a middle infield if you need to, right? It's just Sterling Thompson, I think, is a corner infield in the future, and you're going to find a place for him to play there.
Yeah, he played 479 innings at third base. Actually, no, a bit more than that. 499 innings at third base, and did not play over, I think, 114 anywhere else in the season, roughly in that range. So third base was kind of his spot this year, but he played 25 games. Or no, I'm trying to combine seasons on the spot.
It's hard.
I played 14 games at second base this past season, and then in the outfield spent close to 30 games in the outfield. So third base was his spot. It's kind of funny to think about him as a corner infielder because he's someone that now has this reputation as a utility guy. But I think for the purposes of this, he's absolutely a corner guy. I would love to see him play second base. That'd be really cool if he can stick there a little bit and just give you depth and be that left-handed bat the Rockies don't really have, to play in the infield. So he's my number 1 also. And so I won't drop a ton more on that. I think there is some power that could come with his swing, which is really cool. He's just a line drive hitter, but the raw power itself is there. When he was drafted, it was some of the higher exit velocities in the draft class. Like he was, I think, top 5 or so of like that first round plus. Like he was technically a first round pick as a comp round guy. He was, I think, top 5 in average exit velocity for first round college guys. So it was like this dude can hit the ball hard. If he can start elevating a little bit more, maybe you're looking at 20, 25 home runs. And we know that the bat is there. He started walking a little bit more this year, and the averages were pretty high, ranked in the fall league. So definite number 1. I'll drop my number 2.
He did have 14 home runs last year. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, he had a run in Double-A where like he started off and just hit a few, which is cool. But trying to blaze through this so we don't keep everyone here. I don't think everyone's going to be gone soon anyway.
Right. It's bedtime.
And this is where this is such a tough position group once you take out Hunter Goodman, who I originally had slotted, and then it was like, wait, yeah, we're not doing any big league experience guys. I got Warming Bernabel still as my number 2. I think that there's a unique upside there with him. He has really quick hands. I think he's going to grow into average power, 15 home runs, 20 home runs. And he's pretty athletic. I think he could play, a little bit of second base too if you need, but he's probably more of a third baseman going forward. But again, I think there's kind of a unique upside there when you're looking at the rest of the prospects that play third or first in the system. So he's sticking at number 2 for now.
And he's had a little bit of a drop off last year, being
Yeah.
injured, and wasn't able to really find his groove and doing his thing at AA that we kind of expected, because he kind of blew doors down a few years ago when he got added to the 40 man. Like, it was kind of all right, that's a guy that they believe in a lot, and it kind of came out of nowhere. So hoping that 23 is healthy or 24 is healthy and he comes in and does his thing. There's still a lot of upside. Defense is still a little bit of a work, but he did make some solid plays last year that were kind of like jaw dropping. So he does have that talent, just making it consistent going forward. He's number 4 on my list. My number 2, friend of the pod, Aaron Schunk, he's a dog, and his defense has gotten so much better. Whatever happened in that 2021 season, where 2021 season up in Spokane, I think that was definitely an outlier. That's not who he is as a player. I think whatever was going on, he's past that, because he's dominated in Hartford in 22 and AAA last year. Like, if Ryan McMahon would have got down, knock on wood, God forbid, Schunk was next up. Like, he was doing everything he needed to. The defense that he was able to do, like catching balls against the net and making crazy 98-mile-per-hour throws across the diamond, like on a freaking line. It was insane. And doing his thing with the bat too. So Aaron Schunk is my number 3. A little biased, but not really, because he has proven himself to be that dog. And like, yeah, Lewis, this would be a perfect time to show a highlight of Schunk, but we can't do that because you ain't here, dog. Come on. So
get out here, Mike.
Yeah, what are we doing? You said you were off, but yet here you are in the chat. I mean, make up your mind. But Aaron Schunk, my number 2. Yeah, my number 2.
And I got Schunk as my 4. He's a guy, he finds the barrel often, and we have the term barrel to describe balls that are hit hard and at like the home run launch angle. But like,
balls that are hit hard.
The bats have a barrel, and finding the barrel of the bat is a good way to talk about hitting. Also, he finds a way to just make a lot of solid contact. He's not going to bust the doors down hitting 25 home runs. I think he has the pure strength to maybe do that, but it's just not his game. So I'm a fan of his. He's been a roller coaster ride to follow, where 2nd round pick, really good debut. He finally found himself again in the last like year and a half, and that was awesome to see. And another guy who's kind of been a roller coaster ride, my number 3 on my list, Grant Levine, who is someone we are fond of as a dude. At some points in his minor league career, it's been like, okay, this guy might be like a super high on base threat, hit for some power, but it has been a real roller coaster ride with Levine as well. Hoping that the season primes him to put things together. The raw power is insane. Like, he is a big human. He has a great eye, plate discipline. It's there. Contact rates are not bad for a first baseman. That's got that power. But he has not hit. It's kind of like the Sterling Thompson. He's not hitting home runs. He's hitting a lot of line drives, some hard contact on the ground. Would love to see Grant Levine straighten some things out, and really get on that course to be a first baseman for the Colorado Rockies. Like, be in that mix to get first base plate appearances.
100% agree. His walk percentage was 14% last year. I think I said that right. Yep, 14% at AA. So it's there. His slugging was 400. Like, he had his knack for the zone is insane, and it's just, I'm hoping this is the year that it just translates. All right, now we're gonna hit for power, because he's still 17 home runs, 19 doubles, only 50, 60 RBIs. So the production that you expect from a big Grant Levine just isn't there yet. But look at Hartford's lineup; it was terrible across the board. So there's not a lot of production that was happening in Hartford last year, which is a whole nother story. Just injuries, like it was just injured, and then there's the jump from high A to AA that hurts it a little bit, and you just aren't quite sure where that stuff is coming from. So like, even Hunter Goodman and Drew Romo struggled for a month at a time there. So there is a little bit of that going into Grant Levine. He's number 3 on my list. I think I mentioned that. It's got to happen, and I think this next year it's got to happen now. So hopefully he's starting at AAA. Not quite sure what the first base situation is, so like that might put him in minor league AA purgatory where he's back in Hartford because major league and AAA are full of we don't know what to do with guys. And we talked about that a little bit already. So hopefully he's figuring it out. This is that year. We already talked about my number 4, Warning Bernabel. I'm going kind of out there. Maybe not. Kyle Karros. Drafted last year. He actually got to play a little bit, I believe. He started in California League. Fresno, 22 games in Fresno. 6 RBIs, no home runs, no triples, no a double though, but performed respectfully at that rate. 12 walks, 17 strikeouts in those 96 at bats. Something's there. He's a big fella too. He has a presence about him. 6'5", 220, big third baseman, MLB pedigree, which I think should be taken into account. Like there's something about having that. Just growing up, like you see with Jackson Holiday, like nothing scares that man. Like he's already humbled. Nothing's gonna freak him out because he's grew up in the clubhouse. He kind of knows what it's all about. So I think Karros brings that a little bit. I'm excited. He will start in Spokane. I imagine he will start in Spokane. Excited to see where he comes with as like one of our 3 bats that we drafted last year, and just seeing what can become of that.
Yeah, he was my top honorable mention, and I guess I'll just kind of give a round of applause to the other 3 that I had. Ben McCabe, he was a day 2 pick for the Rockies at, the catcher first base kind of hybrid guy. There's big power there. Kind of reminds me of Hunter Goodman a little bit. So if he plays a lot of first base, I think there's a chance he could have a similar trajectory as Goodman. I don't think it's hard to do what Hunter Goodman has done, but right. I think that the archetypes there, potential is there. So we'll see what happens with him. Got to give love to our guy, Zach Koska. He found a home at first base. His bat just really played well last season. And then the guy I want to give a good amount of love to is Aiden Longwell. I think the Rockies drafted in the 17th round, if I'm not mistaken. And this is me getting all geeky and stuff. But he was one of the best hitters in college baseball last season from those pure numbers, the pure number perspective, a 491 on base percentage, 679 slug, 1,170 OPS. Like he was doing work at Kent State. Not a guy I expect to hit for a lot of power, but that bat could play, just getting on base a lot of contact. So he's one of the guys I'm most excited to watch from last year's draft class. Has a chance to be like a really, really good value for that late day 3 pick. So Aiden Longwell definitely deserves some love in this corner infield discussion.
Yeah, love that. Dark horses are jam. Like Coco was doing his thing before he got injured, and he was right there. Beck, Yankiel, and Coco were home run derbying every game. I'm adding Skylar Messenger to that list and AJ Lewis. Skylar Messenger did his thing. Very professional. Young man just did his thing in California League. We'll see what happens as it gets a little bit harder up in high A Spokane, but undrafted 22nd round. I think I would know that by now, but very late pick, doing his thing and actually doing great with it. And then AJ Lewis just needs a shout out. He's not going to blow any doors down, but he is part of the head of the MILB union team. Like he's part of the, one of 3 guys making decisions. And that's just awesome that he's part of our organization, making decisions that help the betterment of his colleagues, so to speak. So just wanted to throw his name out there too. I think everybody loves AJ Lewis. Like everybody seems to have good things to say about him. So that's our quarter infield preview prospects. It's kind of light.
It's a little. We need some breakouts for sure.
We need something to happen because you got Hunter and Tolia up above and Montero. Those have been the 3 big dogs for a while. So where are we filling that in? And that's the fun about this prospect thing. Like there are ebbs and flows of every position as we go forward. So that'll be fun. Do you think any of these 4? So Lewis, our producer, Mike. Do you think any of these 4 actually make their debut this year? He wrote an article. Go check it out. BlakeStreetBanter.com. Nick Bush, Hunter Stovall, Willie Mack, or Ryan Ritter.
I mean, it was a list that I did not fully expect. I think they're all, in the running. I want to hear from Nick Bush. We got to get him.
I would love to get
back on here. But of that group, you kind of have to look at Willie McIver until Drew Romo's ready. Like, he is kind of that next guy up. Just seems like, all right, let's see if the young kid gets his, can pull it off at the big league level. So I think that's got to be the one. But Ryan Ritter is like the best prospect of the group, so he's going to get his shot when he is proven to be ready.
Right.
So I'd say that's like my 1A and B of that.
I would go Willie Mack is like a 1A, Stovall 2, Nick Bush 3. I think just coming back from an injury, it's going to be hard. And then 4, Ritter. Ritter's a long shot. Fantastic season, but going from
it's true.
Starting in high A, he'll probably be starting in high A, going all the way up. But it's gonna be a grind, especially for his position player with Ezekiel Tovar and a few other dogs in front of him. It'd be sweet, like if he got the Hunter Goodman treatment, like absolutely. So go check that out, BlakeStreetBanner.com. We're trying to ramp up the writing. I'm working on something. I know Tyler's got something in the work, draft coverage. There's things that are happening behind the scenes that are going. I have some ideas. I got to run by him, Tyler, before I start shouting them out. We're doing some things. So keep checking on Blake Street Banner. Follow us on socials. Our Twitter is our bread and butter. BlakeStreetBanter.com. I think it's ST, I believe. Yep. Don't even know my own thing. Instagram, Blake Street Banter. We're on the YouTube. We're on Facebook, but don't go there. And just follow us on your favorite streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything that you listen to your podcast on. That's where we do have the opportunity to make some cash that can be plugged back into this, where I can actually start paying some guys like Tyler and Lewis and Noah and Nick and Isaac, the whole squad. They deserve all the work they do. They deserve some extra bonus there. So follow us, share the love. Please, right now, go ahead and text it to your mother, text it to your mom. We are your mom's favorite podcast. She just doesn't know it yet. I know I'm my mom's favorite podcast. And if you leave us a review, it's fun. Leave us a review, write something on the Apple Podcast. We'll read it on air. The 2 that are on there are pretty funny. So if you do go check out those reviews, just giggle and it's okay. Anything else for the good of the cause, Tyler?
Just, fun stuff is coming. The draft stuff. Won't say anything out of the norm from what we usually do, but if you're familiar with what we usually do for the draft stuff, we have cool breakdowns. It's gonna blow that out of the water.
It's a big year. This is the year for BSB, and I say that every year because every year is a fantastic time getting to hang out with you. Still haven't met you, but like I feel like we're bonded, right? Like it's so crazy.
We've been doing pods since like 2021. I'm pretty sure. So
we're basically best friends. So it's a good time. We're just here for a good time, and if you're going to bring in that negative energy, go somewhere else and just be creative with it. All right. As always, go Rocks and the minor league affiliates. Woo! Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.